Kia ora. Sorry about that. Kia ora, I'm Mackenzie. And then we have Taylor and Kelsey. So yeah, we are from the Aviva Tamariki team. So we support anyone aged from 5 to 12 in our team around family violence, so safety and education. So all of our Tamariki have experienced or witnessed family violence. Some come to us from protection orders, and then others are just referrals from various places like schools, family, support line, things like that. So yeah, today we are going to do like a session that we kind of normally do as our first introduction for every group. So we run group and individual programs, and they are structured programs that are funded by the Ministry of Justice. So we cover a bunch of different topics each week, and they run during the school terms. So we generally start week 1 of the term and go all the way through to week 10. So today we will do a couple of different little activities, and there'll be space for you guys to join in with us and do some of the activities, and then also ask us any questions or how we do things, or any feedback or anything like that. So do we just get going?
Cool. We also always start with karakia each week, just to make the space inclusive for everybody, and the kids over the course of the 10 weeks, I guess they kind of jump in. Some of them want to lead it, which is really cool, kind of just gets their confidence built. So I'll just say our karakia quickly as well. It's printed, so all the kids have folders that they get, and these have all the work that they do in it each week, and then at the very end they get to take it home to show their family, which is really cool as well. So our karakia: mā te hau mahana o te kahui me te wairua o nā te puna, tātou e tiaki, tātou e manaki, I ngā wā katoa, āmine. Beautiful.
Cool. So the first thing that we do in all of our sessions is we have a chat about our emotions and how we've been feeling over the past week. So we have all of them printed in there, but like nice and big like this, and we've got a bunch of different emotions. So we set them all out on the table, and after the tamariki have kind of done their wee colouring in as they come in and grounded themselves a little bit, we get to have a wee chat about how we've all been feeling that week. So for me this week, I've picked happy and proud. I am, and we'll just say a little bit about why we're feeling those things. So for me, I'm feeling happy because I have a 1-year-old who's just started preschool, and she didn't cry today for the first time. So I was stoked on my way to work this morning, and feeling proud of my team here today for jumping outside of our comfort zones a little bit and doing the session today.
Cool. I'm feeling loved this week because I went home to my parents' house, and they actually had bought a shower shelf for me at my new flat. So they did that, and they also put it up for me. So that was made me feel very loved with acts of service this week. And I'm also feeling relaxed because I got a good sleep, and I'm feeling good this week.
I'm also feeling relaxed because it's a lovely day. I also actually had quite a good sleep last night, so it's the first time in a while I'm not absolutely exhausted, so that's nice. And then I've also got shy because this is definitely out of our comfort zone, so I'm feeling a little bit shy today.
And what's cool about the emotions check-in is that obviously we know that kids' emotions are linked to everything that they do, or the behavior that they're maybe showing at home. So it's good for them to visualize the emotions, to be able to recognize how it feels in their body. And it's just actually a good exercise that a lot of the parents take away with them as well, is that emotions check-in is such an easy thing to do. You can have a chart on the fridge, and it's just such a good way for kids to be talking about emotions and recognizing them as well.
Yeah, it definitely helps us as well that if one of the tamariki have identified that they're feeling sad and worried and scared as their 3 emotions that week, that we can keep an extra eye on them and maybe have some extra conversations with them throughout the session. But that's basically our repetitive introduction that we kind of do each week, so that they know exactly how we start each session and what the kind of expectations are. And then if everybody did bring a wee piece of paper with them, we are going to do our next activity, which is our family drawing. So what we'll do is just give everyone, if you've got it, a couple minutes to draw a picture of who is in your family, and it can be maybe who lives in your house or anybody that you consider your family, and then we'll have a wee chat about it at the end.
And
so
it's
we'll
important to put yourself on there too, because you're a part of your
Yes.
family, and that leads into the next bit as well.
Yes.
So definitely put yourself down.
And they do not need to be autistic.
No,
we are not.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll give 2 minutes maybe to draw a wee picture of your family, and we'll draw ours as well.
And I feel like now when we with the kids, it's a good time to build some rapport with them, chat with them about what their family looks like, and just keep relationship building while we do activities.
Yeah. And we generally have been the ones that have assessed the tamariki before they join our programs as well. So even though it is the first session for them meeting each other, they would have met at least one of us before. So it's a kind of a chance where we can chat to them about, the last couple of weeks, or maybe how their school holidays were, or anything like that. My drawings are never very good. All right, I've got 1 more minute. Awesome, Taylor, you look pretty ready to go.
I'm speeding.
Want to go first?
Yeah,
sure.
I can do mine. So probably won't be able to see this super well, but I have a very big family. I'm one of 6 kids. So we live in various houses all around Canterbury, but also in Australia as well. So my little sister lives with my parents. I live with my flatmates by myself. And then I have a brother over here who lives with his partner, my other brother over here that lives in Christchurch, and then we fly to Australia. My sister Kelsey lives there, and so does my brother Ryan, his wife, and their baby Gigi, who is my little niece, which is very exciting. So that's my family. We all live apart, but we're still family, and we see each other. Sometimes I see them lots of times, sometimes I don't see them in a while, but we're still family, and we're all still together, which is good.
Awesome. And my family looks a little bit different to Taylor's, but I live in my house with my partner and my wee 1-year-old Sadie. And then my mum and dad luckily live. What was that? I don't know. And then my mum and dad live very close to us, which is very helpful for me. And then we jump on a plane and go to my sister Taylor, who is up in Auckland. And then my brother Adam, I get on a big plane, and he lives in Italy. And he's an artist, which obviously, if you can tell, I did not get any of those skills that my brother has.
Awesome.
And then there is my family. So I live in a flat in Christchurch with my partner Jack. In Ashburton, my parents live there, and I go and visit them quite often on the weekends. And then my brother, he also lives in Christchurch. He's at a flat with multiple flatmates there. And then if you hop on my little paper plane to South Africa, that is where the rest of my extended family are. It's where we all came from when I was younger, and so the rest of our family is still there. So still part of my family, just on the other side of the world.
Does anybody want to share their family drawings? You obviously don't have to, no pressure. No, that's right.
All right. And then we'll get everybody with their piece of paper to cover up themselves on the drawing. So wherever you drew yourself, cover up with some fingers. And then does your family look the same? No. It doesn't look the same. And then we take our fingers off and it looks the same again, because everybody is a special member of their family, and we always say that to each child, that they are extremely special to their family, and it might look different. People might live far away, people might not live in the same house, but everyone is still family and they're a special member of their family. So then they get this certificate.
It's a special member of your family. So they all the tamariki will get the certificate, and sometimes I think we think that it might be a little bit silly, but you can definitely see on their faces that they really appreciate, just that positive reinforcement that they are special, and they, everybody loves them and they do belong wherever they are, whatever their whānau looks like. For a lot of our tamariki, they've had lots of change quite recently. So it might be, that they've either had siblings move away, or dad's gone, or new partners have come in, or different things have happened. So to get them to reflect that, even though they might be in different houses or different things going on, that it's all, everybody's family is different, we're all loved, and it's all good and all okay. So that's our family drawing that we always do at the start of every session, to get to know each other a little bit more as well. So the other activity that we were going to do today is kind of at the other end of our support that we give the tamariki, and that's all about our safety. So I guess for our program, a lot of it is about the emotion side of things. It's about understanding for the tamariki different emotions that they're feeling and how to deal with different things. We talk a lot about anger as well, and a whole session on anger and identifying healthy ways to deal with anger. So throughout our session, we sort of start with the emotion side, and then as the group builds and we, get those relationships with each other, we can start to really get into the safety side of things. So I'm not sure if everybody got it, but we sent out our attachment that we use, which is our safety planning for tamariki. One thing that we do find, and I'm sure everybody who works in the area has experienced as well, that for a lot of the tamariki, they have heard maybe some negative things about police. So a lot of safety planning involves, positive chats about police and how we can include them in our safety plan and what that might look like.
And on the session that we do this, it's the second to last one, so it's nice and fresh in their mind at the end of the program. But we're always intertwining safety into every session. We're always getting them to identify safe adults they can go to, whether it's they're feeling scared, angry, happy, whatever. We're identifying those safe adults at home, at school, in the community, and we're also identifying safe places for them. So that can be at school as well. A lot of schools these days have nice corners and places where they can retreat to if they're feeling scared. And then at home, we're promoting them to think about the safe places that they can go as well. And on this session, we actually get the police in to talk to the tamariki. So half of the session is spent where they can ask any question that they want to the police. Some are very funny and involve if they like donuts and all of the stereotypes around that. But some kids also open up and talk to the police about maybe the negative experiences that they've had and how that's impacted them. And so it's good for them to get a good communication with the police, but also for the police to hear how the tamariki are feeling. So that's a really positive thing too.
Yeah. And the way that Aviva's programs run as well is that the adult programs that we run go at the same time. So they're obviously separate and we support them separately, but the content kind of relates to each other as well. So while we're talking with the tamariki about their safety, our goal and aim is that the parents are also getting that support at the same time. So we know that mum might be at her adults group that day, police are having their visit, and she gets to do exactly what the tamariki do, and we're all on the same page. We also know when we're working with the tamariki, we've had appointments with the parents, so we know what their perspective of their safety plan is, and so we're just adding to that. And making sure that it doesn't conflict in any way. We don't want to be really encouraging tamariki to call police and talk to them if that's not what's actually going to happen at home. So we really want to make sure that every child's safety plan suits the situation they're in, and that the responsibility isn't put too much on them, especially in this age when they're very, very young. It's just sort of trying to add to the safety that hopefully the parents have in place. And as Taylor said, it's a lot of conversations around who safe people are, that if anything were to happen at home or in the community, that they know our goal is 5 safe adults in every child's life that they can talk to. So it could be teachers, uncles, parents of friends, things like that, neighbours. So we although this session 9 is our safety planning session, we definitely are incorporating it into every single session that we do. So we talk a lot about safe places at home. For a lot of tamariki, they've got siblings too, so they might be really little siblings that when we're talking about safe places, that it's I go into their room to make sure that I'm with them, or I go into my big sister's room to make sure that I'm not by myself and things like that. We talk a lot about, how bathrooms are a good safe place in most homes if they've got locks on the doors.
And also I think encouraging them to think if they're in somebody else's house and they're feeling scared, where's a room that would probably have a lock on the door? And a lot of the times it's a toilet or a bathroom. And that's kind of a new idea to them, whereas their bedroom is usually what most kids will say is their safe place, but the toilet and the bathroom is something that we try to incorporate as a safe place for them in case they ever need it.
So we talk about the safe place, the safe adults, and then when we talk about calling police, we do pretend calls with them as well. So if we get our phones, because a lot of the times with the 5 to 8s, they know how to use a phone, but they don't actually know their address, or parents' phone numbers or anything like that. So they might get to the point where they know how to unlock a phone, press 111 and dial, but then as soon as the police, call operator says, "Oh, where's your emergency?" they've actually got no idea. So for us, it's making sure that they know addresses and things as well. And that's ongoing conversations with parents as well, because obviously we're a short intervention most of the time. So it's making sure that these conversations stay happening in the home as well.
And they get a little safety card to take home, because we give affirmations each week anyway. It's like a little nice end to the session. And on the safety planning session, it's a little card probably about this big, and they can put it on their fridge or in their room, keep it safe, put it on a key ring, and it just has their mum's phone number, the police's phone number, and their address, their main address that they'll be at, which is another thing to add to their safety plan, I guess.
And I think for the tamariki as well, is we want to make sure that we kind of normalise the idea of having safety plans when it comes to family violence. So we know a lot of parents are a bit scared to have the conversation with them because they don't want to worry them or make them think that they're always at risk or anything like that. But we try and word it in a way that, they know what to do if there's a fire. We do that at school. We know, especially in Christchurch, we know what to do if there's an earthquake. And things like that. So tamariki are actually really used to doing safety plans for different types of things. For this one, it might just be when we're feeling scared or worried, that these are things that we can do. And it actually gives them the confidence to know that if something were to happen, they know what to do. Hopefully they never have to, but we know that for our tamariki, that is the case, that they do need to have a good safety plan in case they do need it.
And I think another thing, because I think this sheet will go out to everyone as well, so it'll be good for you guys to see the visual way we write down the plan. But one thing we also emphasize is not getting involved in any fights or arguments. A lot of the tamariki that come when they start will often say, I ask my parents to stop fighting, I run in the middle, I sometimes even just sit and stay in that environment, because it is really normalized. And we do emphasize that as one of the big part of the safety plans too. Even if you don't have the confidence to call the police or don't have a phone, if you can get yourself away from that situation as the number one thing, then that's a good thing that we push forward. Because we always emphasize that if you're even near a fight, you can get hurt, and that's sometimes something that
Yeah.
happens to them.
Yeah.
Mm.
Cool.
Yeah. And I mean, there's lots in here. We talk about the different exits in your house. How many could you get out a window? How many doors do you have? And we do this. Another thing is we'd have a drawing of an imaginary safe place, and I encourage the kids to sit with their eyes shut and think about the safe place that they have. It could be at a beach, could be at someone's house that they really love. It could be up in the clouds in the sky, and it just encourages them that they can shut their eyes and go to their safe place once they're actually in a safe place, and it can help them feel calm and better as well. So it's just giving them as many tools, I suppose, as we can to make their safety a priority, and for them to have control of maybe that one little part of their safety, which most of the time they've lost a bit of control in their lives. So it's good to give them this one thing, I guess.
Yeah, and that is one thing we do at the end of every session as well, is we have little worry dolls that go in their boxes with their affirmations. So at the end of every session, we give all the tamariki a couple of minutes to have a chat to their worry dolls if there's anything that they want to get off their chest. And we do talk about, things that worry dolls can help with, and then things that maybe we need to share with our safe adults. So for the worry dolls, a lot of the time it's more the things like, oh, my sister was really mean to me yesterday, and things like that they can get off their chest. Nightmares, things like that. And then they know that I can talk to them, and then when I actually need help to fix something, these are the people that I can go and talk to. I think for us, it's trying to take some of that responsibility off the tamariki as well. We want them to be as prepared as possible just to get out of the really unsafe situations, but then it's the adults' jobs around them to fix some of those, the bigger issues. So making sure that they've got all the support they need, definitely. Cool. Yeah.
Questions, I guess.
Yeah, should we go to some questions? No?
Could I just ask? I was just going to ask, is it at a group session or individual, working with the group with tamariki?
Yeah. So we do both. We try and get as many tamariki onto group that we can, just so we have that extra part of them seeing that there's other people in the community that have experienced similar or the same things. But then we also offer individual if they've got high needs. So if it's extra learning difficulties and things like that we offer that one-on-one support.
Rural as well. We work all across Canterbury, so the more rural clients are definitely the ones that get individual as well, just because we can't logistically transport kids that far. So it's just kind of we assess the kids when we meet them and decide, I guess, what the best way forward.
And we do have groups in Christchurch, North Canterbury, and Rolleston, like the Selwyn area. So we're trying to kind of reach out to those wider communities, I guess, in our area. But yeah.
I've got can you guys hear me? I've got a question. Do you guys have long wait lists at the moment?
So it goes up and down, and our waitlists are probably the trickiest part of our role, I'd say. At the moment, for groups, we're pretty good with our waitlist, like especially the 9 to 12 age group. We're getting them on the next term. So if they are referred to us, they should be allocated within the next term. The individual support is the tricky part, because obviously the capacity changes there. At the moment, I work part-time after coming back from maternity leave, and then Kelsey's just started our team recently, so we are not fully on the ground as we would like, but we are. Our groups are really good, and then depending on the age, but we're looking at probably that term around about. It's hard to give it a time frame.
Cool. There was another one. Do you guys offer transport as well for the kids?
For groups,
yes. For groups.
Oh, cool. Cool.
And and then individual, we do it in the school, so we go there. So there's ways to work that.
Thank you.
No worries.
And I think there are a couple of questions in the chat. Oh yeah, so yeah, we'll share all the resources. And then did somebody ask how many sessions?
Yeah, how many group sessions do you provide? And then I saw Gwendra was helping you out.
Yeah, 10
Yeah.
sessions
Yes.
usually, but we have a little bit of wiggle room for things like absences. If they're not there that week, we try to catch them up on as much as we can. And sometimes we see kids repeating the program. Maybe they start a bit too young and it's not quite the right level for them, and then they come back through. So it just kind of depends. But 10 is usually the
Yeah, quite a few have done, they'll do a group and then we identify that there's some extra safety things that we need to do. So they might get put onto an individual program. They might not need a whole nother 10 sessions, but it just means that we get that one-on-one time with them before closing. We want to make sure that they've all had at least the safety stuff is that we're confident that they're okay to close, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I just want to say, sorry, I joined you guys late. I'm Chris from Supergrams. I spent 18 years in the police and working as frontline police officer in family violence. And it is so awesome to see you young woman.
Yeah, it's funny. For some reason, our Tamariki team, we've all been quite similar the last few years. And
the kids get us mixed up. It's, it's all good.
It's just awesome to hear you. It's awesome to know that this is still happening, because these programs, for those that have never worked in the field or been involved with children in this space that much, they totally can change children's lives. And what it can also do is keep them alive, which is the key thing.
Yeah.
I think, that's a big thing for us, is making sure we've got really good relationships with the schools in our areas to make sure that if they have concerns about tamariki, that they can refer to us. And sometimes that's the first conversations around family that the whānau have had. They might not have had police call-outs or anybody else being aware of the situation at all. So, it is good that we make sure that we have those really good relationships with, I think schools are a big part of that.
Yeah, you're so right, and it's just wonderful to hear you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, kia ora. Is there any final question? Oh, Karina. I'm just also very conscious of the time, and we finish these at 12:45. But if there's still another question, quite happy that come through. Love hearing all you guys sharing and talking about your mahi. Karina, over to you.
Kia ora. I was just wondering, how do you cater for our neurodivergent children who can become quite fixated on the what-if scenarios? Because I'm actually finding that part when I'm teaching the safety programs. How do you cater for our neurodivergent children who can become really, really worried, and it can, without playing it down too much, because it is a very, it's a real concern. Safety, that these safety aspects may happen, but I just wondered how do you cater for our tamariki in that area?
I think we've found that for cases like that, it's making sure that we aren't the only service engaged with the whānau as well, because it could be that we need to collaborate with another, specified agency that they're the experts in that area, and then we can combine our specific family violence knowledge to make sure that we are supporting the whānau in the best way. And obviously for a lot of the time it's that scale, right? So it's making sure that potentially they're not suitable for a group if it's going to make their worries worse. But working individually and then making sure that the parents are on board as well. Does that answer?
Yeah, and I think I've found too with the individual work, it does allow it to be a little bit slower and you get to move through things at a different place. So for our neurodivergent tamariki, I've found that the sessions don't need to be as long and they need to be shorter and they need to definitely work around their needs. I think visual works really well too with them. I've noticed a lot of the videos get the attention rather than some of the worksheets that we do. So it's just, I think it's definitely it's a tricky, and it is coming up more as an issue, I would say. Neurodivergent kids, you're right, worrying and being quite on edge about things. So it's definitely, I would say, work in progress for us to continue learning in that area as well. But
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh, sorry, Belinda.
You go, Fiona. I was
now,
going to say
I'm just supposed to hit a poll here
You do that.
Well, I launched that, and then I am very conscious of the time, but I mean, it's been amazing. Thank you, Mackenzie, Taylor, and Kelsey, for being here today. I hope you're feeling a little less shy after that. Hold up the cards again. What would they say? No, thank you to everyone out there who's eating their lunch, following along, and doing bits and bobs and listening. And it's fabulous to have you here. And so I'm going to ask Belinda. She is going to close us since we can all move into our afternoons and on with our busy workloads. Thank you all.
I did want to call out a fun fact, which you've been very shy and humble about, team, that we do know you've recently been announced as one of the 3 finalists in the 2024 Community of the Year Awards. And I'm not surprised with just that awesome mahi that I think has really resonated with us around the call. And I loved your practical use. I agree, Fiona, we should start the day talking about how we're going and checking in with each other, and those safety tips I think will really change the lives and experiences of kids in these vulnerable settings. So it's just terrific that you do the work and you took the time to come and share with us. Fiona will share the resources as she has, and as Fiona's indicated. Just a very brief shout out, 9th of April, we've got our next Kōrero, and that one will also be really interesting. It's Encourage, a Mama and Pepe intensive live-in service from Tamaki Makaurau, talking to us on the 9th of April. So do please join us, and I will close us off so we can return to the other parts of our day as we move out of this session. So karakia whakamutunga, kua mutua mātou mahi mō tēnei wā, manaki tia mai mā katoa, o mātou hoa, o mātou whānau, ai o ki te aorangi. Go well, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your days. And thank you so much, team. That was just terrific. See you soon. Ka kipe.